All right, welcome back. We got a crypto market update. We got a nice 20% pullback in the Bitcoin price. Now, this is the wild, wild west, the world of crypto. 20% is nothing because you got to remember we're up 180% from the lows. But still, it's a large move in a short period of time. And if you just so happen to buy the spot ETF, you're down 20% if you bought it on the first day. So I'm sure there's a lot of traditional finance people that are like, what the hell? But this doesn't surprise me at all. And this to me is actually a great thing. So we'll look a little bit more at the price action, but the alts are getting slaughtered. If we look at something like, I don't know, Arbitrum, I mean, we're just getting killed. Ethereum's getting killed. So we'll come back to this in a minute, but let's talk about the news real quick. When it comes to the news, global liquidity cycle increasing, that's good. Yesterday we had China come out and they're planning a $286 billion stock market stimulus plan. Stimulus, injection, whatever they want to call it. But they're working on pumping money into their markets because their markets are at like a 10-year low or something like that. They're really struggling over there. And so they're starting to turn on the printer. And so who knows how much further behind we are from them, but they're obviously in some tough times, and we'll have to wait and see when we hit some tough times too. But money is starting to come into the system in other parts of the world, so that liquidity cycle is starting to curl back up. We've got the Ethereum ETF, which is going to be the next big catalyst. We'll see when that happens. The good news was that we had the SEC and Coinbase, they had a court hearing last week, and things are looking like they're going in Coin's favor, which is going to be bad for the SEC and good for crypto and good for other ETFs other than just Bitcoin. I won't get too much into that in this video. When more news comes out there, I'll let you know. We've got the Bitcoin halving, however you want to say it, still coming up this year. Now, what I want to talk about here is we've got Grayscale selling a lot of Bitcoin. So Grayscale, they were the OG Bitcoin Trust. So in your Fidelity or Charles Schwab, you could have bought Grayscale Bitcoin Trust for the last, 5 to 10 years. Now, their trust has been converted into an ETF. And because of that, they're having people that have been in the trust sell and go to their ETF, into other ETFs, or finally just take profits and move on to something else. And because of that, they're selling a lot of Bitcoin. So who knows when this will end? Bitcoin has sold 83,000 Bitcoin so far. And you can see when they're moving Bitcoin from their cold wallet into an exchange. They're doing that so they can liquidate. You only move cryptos from your cold storage into an exchange if you're going to sell or give it to someone or whatever. So they're moving Bitcoin onto exchanges to liquidate. So who knows when that'll end. So that kind of makes a lot of sense what's going on here. Another thing I'm going to be doing some research on is these other exchanges, the FTX, the Voyagers, the Celsius, they're in bankruptcy. And some of them, even Mt. Gox from way back in the day, they're returning funds to customers. They're liquidating to pay for their bankruptcy process. Things like that are going on in the background. Binance too, I think, is liquidating some of their assets. So there's going to be a little bit of that going on, and who knows when the pain will stop. I have no clue. But for me personally, I appreciate this. I want cheaper Bitcoin. I want cheaper Ethereum. I did purchase a little bit recently on this dip. You give me a 20% dip in Bitcoin, I'm going to be there. Now, it might go another 20%. This gray box has a gap that we kind of just shot up out of. It wouldn't surprise me if we got somewhere near this gap. It wouldn't surprise me if we don't. I have no clue. These blue little squiggles, I drew these on Thursday, and they're actually playing out pretty well. Now, I don't know if we get a bounce from here or if we just consolidate down here, but these little green boxes are my next buy targets. I already have orders at 37. and I think 35 to scoop up some more Bitcoin. And then I think Ethereum, I think all of my orders got triggered and filled, so that's great. So now I'll have to look around and see how much more do I want to buy and at what price would that be, and just set those orders and forget it. If they get hit, great. If they don't, great. So Ethereum to me looks pretty strong here, even though it's shot up and shot down. We're still holding this until we break down here and get under 2 grand. But Ethereum under 2 grand to me is just like, I'll take that all day. So I'm really focusing on those two right now. And then once we start to see Bitcoin and Ethereum really recover and not just be a falling knife, because right now they're a falling knife. Do we stop here or do we stop down here? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But until we get a little stabilization, I'm not touching the altcoins right now. I have some, I'm holding some, not a lot, but until we get some stabilization there, because let's say like Arbitrum, that's one I really like. For all I know, when Ethereum settles out, Arbitrum could be at $1. So I'm not going to be buying a whole lot here or here. I'll wait until we bounce up a little bit. Now, if I don't catch the exact bottom, fine. So that's my personal strategy there. We've gone over the news. Bear case, same stuff. Beware of scams. Everything's a scam potentially. Do your own research. No leverage, all that stuff. The bull case, the one thing I keep hearing a lot about is the tokenization of assets. We'll talk more about that. Maybe I'll come out with just an Ethereum video, because I know I've talked a lot about Bitcoin, but I think the narrative is going to start to shift over to Ethereum for the next big move in the crypto market. So I'll save that for another video, so I'm not rambling on. Let's get to the action items. Get ready for the next bull run. We're already in a bull run. We're just at the beginning stages. I know 20% feels painful, but that's what Bitcoin does. If we zoom out, when Bitcoin has its crazy moves, it's not out of the ordinary for it to have large pullbacks. So when we look here, back here, that was a large pullback, another large pullback, another rip, a huge pullback, another rip, pullback. So it's the name of the game. Volatility is your friend here. Embrace the volatility and add on the big red days to your high conviction plays, but don't mortgage your house for this, right? Put enough money that you feel comfortable in an account and use that to purchase things. Don't go crazy here. I heard a good way to think about it. You should have enough Bitcoin for if it gets cut in half, you'll want to buy more, and if it doubles, you'll want to buy more, right? So if it gets cut in half and you're crying, you have too much Bitcoin. You need to diversify. So get ready for the next bull run. Understand why you own your crypto and don't get shaken out. So this has been on here for a long time, but now's the time to not get shaken out. Know what you own. If you're holding something and you're like, this is a piece of shit, maybe you sell and go into something stronger. But know what you own, understand it, and don't get shaken out in the volatility. Have a plan for taking profits. This whole run here, this last year, I took some profits at 40. I rotated it into other things. I took some profits, and now I'm sitting fine. I've got cash to buy some more. I've got bags packed, ready to go. So I'm ready for a 30% rip or a 30% dip. That's what you should be thinking about. When we have those crazy euphoric months like we've had, just take a little bit off the table. Because when we get these big red days, you're going to be thinking, damn, why didn't I take a little off the table? And now you're just watching your gains erode. If you can just lock in a little bit, you're going to have volatility. You're going to have options to sell more and also buy more. So have a plan. Buy red candles. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We've got some big red candles. Again, not a financial advisor. Do your own research. Be an adult. But if you were super excited about the Bitcoin ETF when Bitcoin was at 40 something, or whatever it was, 49, and now we're at whatever we're at, 39, here's your discount. If you go into your favorite store and they've got things on a discount, Doesn't that get you excited? So with that being said, no leverage, and don't be a madman here. Don't be a complete degenerate. So that's all I really got for you guys. I will come out with an Ethereum video within the next week, but this has gone on too long. But embrace the volatility and just get ready for the next cycle. We got a long road ahead of us. So until the next one, peace out.